Charm in abundance, from the colorful coastal towns of the Caribbean to one-time medieval fortresses of Central Europe and hard-to-reach hilltop settlements, the world really does have some charming places. All brimming with beauty, most offer a chance to relax and explore the stunning settings, all while experiencing the best the local community has to offer. Rothenburg ob der Tauber, Germany. The beautiful Bavarian town of Rothenburg ob der Tauber is a popular stopping point on the German touring route, the Romantic Road, thanks to its medieval cobbled streets, fairy tale-like architecture, and surrounding vineyards. It is also home to the largest Christmas shop in Europe, the Cathy Wohlfahrt Christmas Village, which is conveniently open all year round and sells everything you could ever need for a traditional German Christmas on its 16,000 square foot, 486 sqm, shop floor. Franschhoek, South Africa, just an hour's drive away from Cape Town. Franschhoek is in the heart of South Africa's Western Cape region. The area is known for its French charms thanks to the Huguenots, who settled here more than 300 years ago after fleeing persecution in their native France. Nowadays it attracts visitors from across the world to enjoy both its stunning mountainous scenery. Tobermory, Scotland, UK. Tobermory on the Scottish Isle of Mull is famed for its brightly colored harborside houses. Originally an 18th century fishing port, it is now famed for wildlife watching, particularly for those wanting to spot white-tailed eagles, minke whales and basking sharks. The wreck of a Spanish galleon carrying gold bullion that was part of the defeated Armada of 1588 is thought to be in the mud at the bottom of the bay. Colonia del Sacramento, Uruguay. Uruguay's Colonia del Sacramento, situated on the Rio de la Plata across from Argentinian capital Buenos Aires, was founded by the Portuguese. The town passed between Portuguese and Spanish hands for centuries, until Uruguay gained independence in 1828. Nowadays it attracts visitors wanting to walk its quaint and tree-lined cobbled streets, visit its 19th century lighthouse and witness spectacular riverside sunsets. Zhejiang, China. Zhejiang in Jiangsu Province is one of China's oldest water towns, with nearly two-thirds of its buildings built in either the Ming, 1368 to 1644, or Qing, 1644 to 1911, dynasties. Alongside its ancient buildings, it's known for its quiet canals, old-world charm and unique bridge culture, which features the centuries-old twin bridges. The historic waterways gained global prominence after being immortalized in the paintings of the late, renowned Chinese artist Chen Yifei. Hallstatt, Austria. Perched on the edge of a lake in Austria's Salzkammergut region, Hallstatt is postcard perfect, so much so that China built its own replica. But despite being one of the country's most popular tourist attractions, indeed there have been concerns about the impact of over-tourism, it is also home to a charnel house with more than 1,200 skulls and 7,000-year-old salt mines. The wider Hallstatt-Dockstein/Salzkammergut region was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1997. Mawlynnong, India. Mawlynnong in the East Khasi Hills of Meghalaya State, India, has been hailed as the cleanest village in Asia. Known for its abundant greenery, meticulously pruned gardens and curious living root bridges, the Khasi villagers pride themselves on keeping it pristine. Key to doing this are the cone-shaped bamboo baskets scattered across the village that the locals use as bins. The Khasis are also devout Christians. Revenge, Croatia. The Italianate style of Revenge on Croatia's Istrian Peninsula is very much defined by its close proximity and historic ties to Italy. Indeed, Italian is still widely spoken here by those who call it Rovigno. Visitors can explore the tight Venetian-style streets of the Old Town and the Baroque grandeur of the Church of St. Euphemia, while the more adventurous can try their hand diving at one of the nearby dive sites, including the Barrengout Wreck. Lüderitz, Namibia. Perched between the Namib Desert and the wild South Atlantic coast, the the Namibian town of Lüderitz is known for its somewhat incongruous German colonial style that harks back to Bavarian villages. Highlights include the Felsenkirche, rock church, and the Gorkhaus built into the rock face. Visitors can also visit the nearby Kalmanskop ghost town that's been overtaken by desert sand or view penguins and other marine wildlife on nearby Halifax Island. Český Krumlov, Czechia. The Bohemian town of Český Krumlov is often described as Prague in miniature thanks to its striking 13th-century castle above the Vltava River and surrounding Old Town. Indeed, it is deemed such a cultural marvel that it was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1992. Other highlights include the oldest Baroque theater in the world, the Český Krumlov Monastery, and a private gallery dedicated to the work of controversial Austrian artist Egon Schiele. Bar Harbor, Maine, USA. Bar Harbor is a gateway to Maine's Acadia National Park, giving it immediate brownie points on the natural beauty front. Not only can visitors hike, bike, or snowshoe through the park, they can also go whale watching or join a wildlife cruise around the surrounding islands to catch a glimpse of porpoises, seals, and bald eagles. The 110-foot-high, 34 meters, Otter Cliff is one of the highest coastal headlands on the U.S. East Coast, and the area is also famed for its fresh seafood. Damyang, South Korea. Damyang is the bamboo capital of South Korea. The town is home to the 1.72 million square foot, 160,000 sqm, Juknaquan bamboo forest and celebrates the tall tree-like grass each May during the Damyang Bamboo Festival. Visitors can also learn all about the versatile plant at the Korean Bamboo Museum and visit the mountainside Jumseong Sanseong Fortress, which is thought to date back to Korea's Three Kingdoms period, 57 BC AD 668. Castle Combe, England, UK. Castle Combe is in England's Cotswolds area of outstanding natural beauty and is recognizable to film fans as the set of Warhorse, Stardust, and 1960s musical Dr. Dolittle. The honey-colored stone houses are traditional of the area, and the 13th-century St. Andrew's Church houses a unique faceless clock, reported to be one of the oldest clocks in the country. Part of the reason it's so picturesque is that no new homes have been built here for hundreds of years. Port Fairy, Victoria, Australia. The beautiful coastal town of Port Fairy on the Great Ocean Road is home to 19th-century cottages, old stone churches, and one of Victoria's busiest fishing ports. The town is also known for its arts, crafts, and antiques and hosts the annual Port Fairy Folk Festival, one of Australia's largest music festivals. History buffs can learn all about the whitewashed seamen's cottages and Georgian-style merchants' homes on one of several historic walking trails. Duluth, Georgia, USA. Duluth in Georgia is renowned for its small-town feel with big city amenities. At its heart is the Town Green, a series of lush green terraces in front of a Victorian-style performance stage that plays host to a series of free festivals, concerts, and other entertainment events throughout the year. The Atlanta suburb, full of southern charm, also plays host to the Red Clay Music Foundry, the Southeastern Railway Museum, and the Gas South Arena. Stykkishólmur, Iceland. Stykkishólmur sits on the northern shore of Iceland's Snæfellsnes Peninsula and is home to just over 1,100 people. People have inhabited the charming natural harbor for centuries. It's mentioned in the Icelandic sagas, but it really developed after it became a trading post in 1550. Along with 4 other municipalities on the peninsula, it was the first community in Europe to get the EarthCheck environmental certification. 8 Benhadou, Morocco. The historic red brick Ksar or fortified village of 8 Benhadou dates back to the 11th century and is situated on the former caravan route running between Marrakesh and the Sahara. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is famed as a great example of Moroccan earthen clay construction and is a popular filming location for movies such as Lawrence of Arabia. It remains home to a handful of families, although most residents live in more modern dwellings across the river. Trujillo, Spain. The Extremaduran town of Trujillo in western Spain was the birthplace of a number of conquistadors linked to the discovery of the Americas. Upon their return in the 16th century, conquerors such as Francisco de Pizarro, founder of the Peruvian capital Lima, lavished their wealth on building grand churches, manor houses and palaces around the noble Plaza Mayor Square. The 13th century Moorish castle overlooking the town is on the site of an earlier Arab fortress. Lampun, Thailand. The sleepy Thai town of Lampun may be small, but it has a rich history. Between the 8th and 13th centuries it was the capital of a principality called Haraphunchai, which was originally ruled by the Mon princess Shamadevi, who is honored with a Buddhist temple in her name. Each November, visitors flock to Wat Phrathot Haraphunchai Temple, pictured, for the Grand Lantern Festival, when lanterns are offered as a form of worship to a relic of the Buddha. Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts, USA. Oak Bluffs is a small town on the island of Martha's Vineyard, known for its colorful gingerbread houses which were built by Methodists who held annual religious retreats here in the second half of the 19th century. Using an architectural style known as Carpenter Gothic, about 300 of the gingerbread houses remain in an area known as the Oak Bluffs Campground, centered around a tabernacle that still acts as a religious facility. Villa de Leyva, Colombia. The small Colombian town of Villa de Leyva is famed for its cobblestone streets and colonial-style buildings. Founded in 1572, it was declared a national monument in 1954. The town is also home to the 15th century Church of Our Lady of the Rosary, the Casa Terracotta, a 5,400 square foot, 500 SQM, clay house that is said to be the largest piece of pottery in the world, and several museums dedicated to fossils found in the local area. Gorim, Turkey. The Cappadocian town of Gorim is renowned for its amazing rock formation, fairy chimneys, and cave churches. Much of the spectacular scenery of this charming UNESCO World Heritage Site is sculpted by erosion, and the valley is home to dwellings, troglodyte villages, and underground towns. The remains of a traditional human habitat dating back to the 4th century can be seen here, along with Byzantine art of the post-iconoclastic period. Kralendijk, Bonaire, Caribbean, Netherlands. Kralendijk means coral reef and is the capital of Bonaire Island in the Caribbean, Netherlands. The town has some examples of Dutch colonial architecture, including Fort Orange, which was founded by the Dutch West India Company, alongside the traditional colorful houses of the region. Bonaire takes the responsibility of looking after its beautiful coastline very seriously too. It was the first Caribbean island to protect its seas with a marine park. Mtskheta, Georgia. The historic Georgian town of Mtskheta is sometimes known as Little Jerusalem due to its religious significance. Mtskheta is one of the world's oldest inhabited cities and is widely recognized as a city museum thanks to the abundance of churches and other religious buildings. The historical monuments of Mtskheta make it a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with a particular highlight being the Cathedral of Svetitsko-Veli, the traditional burial place for the King of Georgia. Ekinas, Finland. The old town of Ekinas is known for its charming wooden houses along the seafront and skilled craftsmen. Just 1.5 hours west of Helsinki, the town claims to have the oldest pedestrian street in all of Finland. Indeed, a few years before the Finnish capital was granted its own. Ekinas is notable for its small street mirrors known as gossip mirrors in its house's windows and the Gamla Bastion, a 1903 brick building that was built as a bathhouse for Russian high society.